Okay, take two. Had some technical difficulties there, but I think I may have figured it out. We'll see. Okay, we are good on YouTube. Woohoo! That's a good thing, except I'm getting like weird lighting now. I just can't win today. All right, let's just turn this shit off and see if that stops the, nope, it's not. Jeez, I am just lucking out today when it comes to some of the technical stuff. It's crazy how like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras, 3 lights. I've got like this mic, that speaker, this monitor. There's just way too much shit going on. But you know, we'll figure it out. I think I might know what the issue is with the camera, kind of going in and out and getting light and dark and light and dark. So let's see if this fixes that. And if so, then I will be a happy camper. Is it gonna fix it? Oop, almost knocked over this. Great start to the stream, folks. Great start. Whatever. It is what it is. Okay. Well, if you're catching this, that means that it's just meant to be. So welcome. We're making some blackened chicken thigh zucchini pasta today with an infused basil oil. And we're gonna do a roasted red pepper cream sauce, which is going to be super delicious, I hope. And now let's see what's going on here. Okay, so YouTube, we're working on YouTube. We got it. Over here on Twitch, looks like we are good to go as well. Happy to see it. And from my main little, looks like we're good to go there too. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. They want me to change my bit rate. Don't tell me what to do. Do not tell me what to do. Okay, and of course on Facebook it says that we're having trouble with this video, but if I click on it, it looks like we are good to go. Yep. All right, so I've got all the things that are working. It only took way too long to actually get to that point. So here we go. Let's make some magic happen. It's Friday afternoon. And geez, I haven't been drinking or smoking, no intoxicants for a month. We're doing a little reset here. But I tell you, after a little aggravation there, I'm ready to have myself some Weller's whiskey, a little bourbon. Let's dive in here. Okay, so this is a super delicious low carb recipe. It would definitely be keto. It would, actually, I think it might even be paleo, definitely gluten-free. Depends if you do paleo with dairy or not. There's a huge debate in that community over that. Either way, it's gonna be super tasty. So the first thing we're actually going to do, well, I should probably wait for that until we get a couple people that are signed on here and hanging out and saying hi. And yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna wait to do the infusion for a little bit because I want you guys to be able to see that once everyone gets logged in here. And so in the meantime, what I'm actually gonna do is just get started with roasting our red peppers. Now, if you've never done your own roasted red peppers, they're fantastic. They're the cheapest way to do it, and you can do them with green peppers and it tastes pretty damn similar. So if you don't want to spend nearly double on a red pepper, definitely use green or whatever color you got. What makes this taste so good is the actual roasting of it. Now there's a couple different ways that you will probably see on TV or in recipes, the way that people have roasted peppers. One of the most traditional way is just basically putting it over an open flame and burning the crap out of the skin of the pepper, putting it in a bag, letting it steam. This is the process we're gonna do. And then you just scrape it off, and then you get these nice little bits of char that kind of come through. You know, nice little cancerous chars. It's only a little bit, you'll be fine. The next way is you take a pepper and you deep fry it, and that blisters up the skin and allows you to get that skin off. Outside of that, the only other really kind of way you can do it is super high temperature in an oven. The problem with that is chances are you're gonna end up like overcooking the pepper. You will get the skin off. It might be a little bit more challenging, but it depends on really what you're looking to do with the pepper in the first place. So we're gonna get started here with that and kind of see what happens here. Okay, so bring y'all over to our oven can. What number is that? Boom, here we go. Now, you can just, first of all, in order for this to work, what I'm gonna do here, you definitely need to have a gas range, okay? Because you wanna have direct heat. Now, a little tip for you. Sometimes, if you're working with multiple peppers, when you have one that kind of like goes down into the little opening here, it might be kind of a pain in the butt. So you can see here, this little baking rack, see the black area? That's from basically doing this. And now you've just got a nice flat area and you can take at the high, oh, there's the hoedown music early on again. And basically we're just gonna let this go and we're going to char the crap out of the skin. We wanna see black, pretty much black all the way around, and that will make for a pretty darn good roasted red pepper. And I'm gonna do a split screen here so y'all can see both. Actually, let's do this here. Add oven. Oh, you guys can keep an eye on that in the background. And it didn't work. Let's try this again. Split screen, P&P. Bring y'all up over here. Add oven. Okay. There we go. Excellent. So if anyone sees that this starts like, you know, bursting into flames, just give me a little heads up. Looks like we got a couple people over here on Twitch. Hey, if you're on Twitch, be sure to say hi. Kathy over here on YouTube saying the music is loud. Thank you, I appreciate it. Hey Kathy, if you're still there, let me know if that helped a little bit. I hope it did. And Kathy, I'm gonna make sure you're popping up. No, you're not. You're not coming up over there. So this whole chat thing is a complete waste. I'm trying out different chat modules so I can like get in touch with everyone at the same time, and we'll see if that actually works. GD, aloha, hello, hello. And I think now we're good to go with our chit chats here. Glad that y'all are joined. I've got Twitch open. I've got that open. I don't have Facebook open, so let's head over there to the Book of Faces, or Face Place as my father-in-law calls it. Let's check this already. You can see just after just a little bit, we've got some nice char on there. And just kind of give these a little spin here and there. Literally, it's like one of the few times in the world of cooking that you get to burn the crap out of things, and that's totally okay. All right, so over here on Facebook, and there we go. That is not the right stream. Hey, there we go. Thanks for being patient. Sometimes this technical stuff when you're on multiple platforms just does not do the trick. Excellent. I think I'm good to go. All right, so here we go. We've got our peppers here that are getting, look at that. See how dark that is? That's what you're looking for. Just give that a little rotation. Beautiful. And I'm gonna get a bowl. You can put these into a plastic bag when you're done, like a good Ziploc. Some people are freaked out anytime plastic is involved with anything hot. So the other thing you can do is just simply grab some foil, a heavy duty foil, or if you've got like one of those Pyrex containers that has a lid on it, you're good to go there too. Hey Kathy, let me know if the audio and the music is good or if I need to adjust that. So while they're, smells great in here already. All right, let's do a little menu recap again. We've got some people that just tuned in. Just so y'all know, anyone watching the live stream is gonna get access to Trichome Institute's Cannabis for All course. I believe it might be in the description. If not, just go to trichomeinstitute.com to our shop page. And basically just find the Cannabis for All course and use the code PASTA and you'll get it for free. That code expires at midnight tonight. So this is your chance. If you're tuned in live, there's some benefits. What can I say? All right, so I have all of my veggies here all prepped. We've got our chicken thighs. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is get all my veg prep ready to rock so that I can clean when I'm done with the chicken, and then we're just moving into cooking mode. Well, kind of we're already cooking right now with these roasted red peppers. See, that's what you want, folks. Charred and delicious. Again, the only time really in a kitchen you get to, one of the few only times in a kitchen you get to burn the crap out of something and get away with it. So I feel like every time I stand right here, the entire screen gets brighter, and I don't know what that's about. GD, thank you for the feedback on the audio. I certainly appreciate it. Let's see here. We've got a couple people over there, and we're good to go. Okay, so it looks like everything's working now. My levels are good, so I can stop worrying about that. And let's just dive in here. So I want to get some feedback here. There's like, basically for the menu, I was getting into it. Let me come back and get back into it. So we're doing zucchini pasta. We're gonna use either the zoodler, which we have, or I'll show you like the easier way, I think. And yeah, it's just an easier way, which is using a vegetable peeler to make some really delicious, like wider zucchini noodles. And we're gonna make a roasted red pepper cream sauce. And we're just gonna saute some garlic, some onion, and blend that with the roasted red peppers with some heavy cream. And this is where I want to see what you guys want. So I have Roma tomatoes here, very simple tomatoes. And Roma tomatoes are often used for a lot of sauces because there's not a shit ton of seeds and everything in here. There's a lot of usable flesh. And these are also really easy to peel the skin. So there's a process that, you know, in culinary school they teach you called a concasse. And basically with a concasse, what you do is you blanch these in boiling water for about a minute, and then you shock them in ice water. And what it does is it splits the skin and allows you to peel the skin off, and then you're not left with what could potentially be just kind of like a, so tomato skin can get stuck in people's teeth and like, you know, in the front, in between. So it's kind of like a good practice to remove that skin. Now we're gonna be blending the sauce, so it doesn't really matter because it's gonna all get, you know, blended anyway. But if you guys wanna see a tomato concasse and see how that works, let me know right now. And if so, then we'll get some water boiling and we'll make that happen. Okay, so this is looking good. We're gonna try that one side a little bit more. And here's the deal. This doesn't have to be totally black everywhere, okay? The more the merrier, but you know, what I have so far is, I would say 95% there. Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this camera. It's not enjoying. We'll see if that changes anything. That's probably gonna make it worse because now I got backlight. Yeah, we'll turn that back off. All right, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I have that light on or off? Let me know. And on Facebook, of course, no one's on Facebook because Facebook doesn't let us play. On your YouTube, lighting appears to be fine even when you stand near the computer. Okay, cool. Thank you, GD. Hey, GD, what's your name if you don't mind me asking? I like to. It's just you and I pretty much for the most part hanging out here. Fridays are an interesting day to stream. Sometimes you get a good crowd, sometimes there's no one. And we just started doing these cooking sessions through the Trichome page. Oh, look at that. Now that's freaking hot. That is literally glowing hot. I think we're good to go. It's gonna get warped like crazy. All right, so I'm just gonna take these, I'm gonna put them into a bowl and just gonna cover them. Now the reason that you're covering these is because you want them now to steam. That steam from the heat of having them over the fire there is what's going to allow the skin to easily come off of the flesh. And it's just gonna scrape right off. So let them sit, let them steam, and most importantly, let them cool so you don't burn your little phalanges there, okay? So let's see here. Who was I talking to? GD. You know what, GD? I'm gonna do a tomato concassé just for you. I have a feeling you wanna see it. Plus, why not? I don't have anything to do. So we're just gonna get some hot water here, and I'm gonna fill this little sauce pot here just over halfway. I'll probably end up doing like 2 at a time just so I don't have overflow. We're gonna get our burner nice and hot. And now I gotta prepare an ice bath, because what actually makes this work without overcooking or really cooking in general your tomato is shocking them when you're done. Sorry for the noise. So what's funny is I honestly could not tell you the last time I did this. I know I've definitely done it since culinary school, but I mean, if you're gonna make a fresh tomato sauce and you're going to have enough that like makes sense, and you're gonna concassé all your tomatoes, you're gonna be prepping for a very long time, like a stupid amount of time. Gavin from Queens, New York. All right, Gavin, what the hell is up? I'm Brandon from Jersey originally, not too far from you, but I'm in San Antonio, Texas right now. Okay, is anyone lingering over on Twitch? Hey Twitch, would someone say hi so I know that y'all are alive? Even if you're just in the background kind of hanging out, say hello, let me know, you know, how your day's going. All right, so we've already got half of one of our things prepped. We're working on getting the tomatoes going here. So we'll just put them off to the side. For the sauce, because the fact that we're going to be blending the sauce, it doesn't really matter. You know what? I was given these knives as a gift from my wife 2 Christmases ago, so Christmas of 2020. And I didn't use them for the longest time because we were in our motorhome traveling around for her travel nurse assignments. And they're just good knives, and my knives just got beat to hell. So I really like these knives. So we're gonna use this one. So what are we gonna do here? Because of the fact that we are blending, our sauce, it doesn't really matter how big or really small. I mean, you don't want giant pieces of onion. It doesn't really matter how you cut these, whether you julienne or you small dice or even a medium dice. I want to caramelize them because I want to get a really good flavor profile. And I'm going to show you a way to caramelize onions that I learned from Martha Stewart, of all people, and it's totally interesting. So what we're going to do here, for the sake of actually teaching you guys something that's, you know, a little bit culinary related, do not, you know, cut your onions, you know, basically, how to explain this? Whenever I'm working with the onion in the way I prefer it, I like to cut off my root end and the little stem end at the same time, okay? And just basically discard. Tiny little bit of waste there. It depends on what you're looking to do. If you're making stocks, try and save those little pieces, but most people aren't, let's be real. And then you're gonna cut this from north to south, okay? Don't cut equator on an onion unless you're making onion rings or you have a very particular use for it. You're gonna cut them from north to south, peel off that outer layer. Sometimes you can get away with just peeling off the skin, but sometimes there's still like a layer on there. And then what happens is you end up with this, like, you know, piece of onion peel that doesn't cook and it doesn't soften up. And if you get that in a bite, it's really not that pleasant. Hey there, cooking girl. Glad that you're cleaning, lurking, being a creep in a good way. I like it, I like it. All right, so what we're gonna do here, for the sake of cutting these and making sure they're consistent in size so they cook evenly, is just do like a simple julienne, okay? So a julienne is a 1/16 of an inch wide, and ideally it's 2 inches long. In this case, it's about 2 inches anyway. We're gonna pinch the base of the blade. Our other 3 fingers are gonna wrap around like this. Our non-dominant hand is going to brace the blade between your first and second knuckle. Your fingers are gonna be on a downward angle away from the blade like so, and your thumb is gonna either support the product in the back like this, or it's gonna stabilize your hand, and we're going to do a tap chop, so you're just going right on through. Now, right about here, I have a very high product and a narrow base, but if I just boop, push that over, now I have a low product with a wide base, and it's a safer way to get cutting here, okay? Again, push that over, and you've got a julienne onion. Now, how are we gonna cook this that's going to caramelize the onion without using oil? Who knows the trick here? Does anyone? How in the world am I going to caramelize some onions without putting them in a pan with oil? Ooh, we got another hoedown happening early here. I like it, I like it. All right, hey there, Alpha Toxin. How are you? I didn't even see you. I mean, I did, but it didn't register to shout out and say, hey. All right, so we have our julienne over here. Who knows the secret to caramelizing veggies in general, or even pretty much caramelizing produce without using oil in a pan? Who knows the secret? In the meantime, while you guys are figuring that out, I'm just going to trim off the stem and the little flowering end here of the zucchini. This is zucchini, not green squash. It is zucchini. The yellow version, evidently from what my uncle, who is a farmer, and I used to pick this shit, said that the yellow ones are yellow squash, but these ones are considered zucchini. I learned that when I was like 14. Some things just stick with you. So that's ready to go. All right, so look, we've got our water boiling here. So did anyone figure out high heat, tad of water, cook out? Cooking girl. I'm gonna blow your mind, cooking girl. Let's bring y'all over here. Oh, you can see my trash can. I don't like that. Let's just do a little flip flop here. Look at that. A non-stick pan is the answer to the question. A really good non-stick pan, if you just put your onions in there, they will caramelize without any added fat. Okay, so I'm gonna put 2 in here at a time. Yeah, we'll do 2 at a time. Now, I've got my water boiling. It immediately goes down to a light simmer because of why? Well, we just added a cool product and reduced the temperature. And I'm even gonna look, I'm gonna set a timer for a minute, just so you can kind of see here what's gonna happen. So what are we doing, in case anyone missed it? This is called a tomato concasse. Basically, we are blanching these tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, nice and ripe actually. God, the ones at Target. So I live in a black hole of traffic. So there's certain places that we just don't go to. And when I went grocery shopping for the stream, it was one of those times of the days where you just don't go to certain places. So I went to Target to get some of the stuff. And that was just the black from the pepper. And geez, it was just terrible, the traffic. So anyway, the Target tomatoes were literally orange. I was like, how can you even put those out there? So these are looking pretty good. But basically what we're doing is we're applying heat. We are stressing out that outer layer, the skin of the tomato, and we are waiting for it to start splitting. And in a little bit here, you're gonna see somewhere generally, okay, so it's gonna take more than a minute. So there was a minute, just to give you an idea. It depends on how hot your water is when they go in, how much water you have boiling. The more water, the less it will cool down when you put your product in here. And all we're doing here is we're looking for this to split. Split, split, split. And it'll generally start at the bottom. Oh no, I forgot to do something. Guys, so this is why culinary school teaches you things. I forgot to do something, which is you're supposed to put a little X at the bottom. I can't believe I forgot it. And that is what allows you to see the peel coming back. Look at that. So put a little X You can even remove the stem part too if you want in the beginning, but that was a crucial part that I totally forgot. Okay, so look at this, look, right there. You see that split, you're good to go. So you're gonna take this and you're gonna go right into an ice bath and you're gonna stop that cooking process. And I'm gonna put these other I'll wait till this one's done. Look at that. Here I am teaching you guys something and I messed it up. Deal with it. All right, this is good to go. So now that I have these split, now look, let's do a timer because I didn't give the skin an area to actually start curling back. So let's rewind time and pretend that we're just starting here. So what you do with your concassé tomato is you do a little split at the bottom there, and that allows the skin to kind of peel back. You're gonna put it into some boiling water for a minute about, and you're gonna look for that to kind of curl back and split a little bit. And then once that is done, you're gonna throw this into a ice bath, shock them, cool them down, and then you can easily peel off the skin while getting rid of the seeds and such as well. So we got about 20 seconds left. Let's see if that does the trick at the 20-second mark. I think it's gonna need probably another 30 seconds. So you can imagine, okay, so check that out already. See how that's peeling back like that? So that's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll just close that out. I'm gonna let these go for another couple of seconds here. And I'm gonna come back over in a minute here and see if anyone's making fun of me for forgetting the splitting. And what's cool about doing a concassé tomato is this is also a process you can do to make a nice fresh salsa. And with your fresh salsa, you don't have any skin in there. So it's just a better bite at the end of the day, you know? And also seeds are sometimes kind of hard to digest for people. So it's another good thing is, you know, getting rid of those seeds. So you know, it's easier on the old tummy. Oh, going to boil them, like really makes sense for a non-stick. I ain't boiling my potatoes or my tomatoes. All right, so we're gonna let them cool. I already got too much water in there. However, because I didn't put the split in the first batch, they might be a little softer, and I'll be honest with you. Sometimes you just forget shit. I said a few minutes ago, when was the last time that I did a concassé? No friggin' clue. Okay, so now I'm gonna get out my new nonstick. This is a Misen, M-I-S-E-N. I friggin' love this thing so far. Treat it like a cast iron. Like, don't put a bunch of like abrasives, well, not really. I try not to put soap on it. I just try and clean it with a wet sponge and kind of treat this like a cast iron. And yeah, it's great. I really like this pan, nice and big. Did my little egg flippies the other day on this. So we're gonna get the heat there on medium to start, and I'm just gonna throw my onions right on in here. Hey there, Sir Walk-A-Lot. Hey, that's fine if you just ate. We're early here on the East Coast, or in the Central Time Zone. It's only 3 o'clock my time on a Friday. Most people are not eating dinner yet in the US. I guess it is approaching 4. Maybe some retired folk, but for the most part, people are just getting off work and, you know, maybe doing happy hour first. But just because you just ate doesn't mean you can't learn something new. And sometimes when you watch my streams, what you'll learn is what not to do, which, believe it or not, is just as important as learning what to do. Okay, let's see. Anybody over there on YouTube hanging out? Looks like we got a couple here. And Twitch, good to go? Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little split screen so we can see this caramelization process take its course. So split screen, we're gonna go here, and add oven, we're gonna go there, okay. And let's give that a little, all right. Gavin's over there chilling on the YouTube. All right, so again, I've just got some julienne onions. They're in here on a medium heat. I'm just gonna let that rock. I saw a video with Martha Stewart doing this with the onions, and I was like, there's no way you're gonna get a good caramelization here And well, Martha proved me wrong, which wouldn't surprise me. I mean, she's a smart cookie. She's been cooking for a long time. And basically you're just gonna let that rock, and you're eventually gonna end up with some caramelization happening. Now, who can tell me what is it that allows caramelization to happen in the first place? Cheers and watching. You're a good cook and like watching Food Channel. Excellent, Bud Rich. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Good thing you didn't tune in a few minutes ago when I messed up my tomato concasse. You would have been totally regretting that comment now. Okay, so speaking of tomato concasse, they're mostly cooled off, so we're good to go here. So listen, while my onions are caramelizing without any fat, don't get me wrong, I love oil, I love fat, but I think it's pretty cool that this is an option. So we're gonna take either a utility knife or a paring knife, and we're going to, let's do a different split screen so you guys can get a close-up of the cutting board here and the oven. Look at that dual cooking badassery. All right, so this tomato concasse, remember you're going to, see, look how easily that came off. That's the one that I cooked a little longer and I forgot to peel, which is totally fine. The flesh here is a little bit softer just because I forgot to slice them, but there you go. Look how easy that was. And then with a paring knife, you can come in here and you can just, at the very tip, cut out your little stem there. And you can do that in the beginning or at the end. Now, that came off so easily, so let's see what the rest do. Cook these a little bit shorter, and you're basically just gonna, yep, perfect. You're going to take your knife and see what I'm doing here. I'm scooping, so it's behind it, and then I'm just pressing on the side of the knife, and that's that. And then we're gonna come in here and we're going to remove that. Again, this is a tomato concasse, not consomme. That is generally a meat dish or soup that is where you have bones and meat and other things, and you create this raft out of more meat and egg whites, goes at the top and pulls off all like impurities, and you end up with this super clear, I guess you could do it with a vegetable as well. Yeah, because I've had tomato consomme as well, and you end up with this like super clear, delicious and flavorful liquid. And pop that out. Okay, so why are we doing this? If you didn't catch it, basically you remove the peel, doesn't get stuck in your teeth, creates for a better mouthfeel, and looks nicer, especially if you're going to make a salsa and you want it to just look perfect, or if you're going to add some tomato, small diced tomato into like a sauce at the very end to finish it. You want the tomato to hold its body for some texture, but you don't want the skin to be on there. Then that's it. Give our little onions here a toss, and look at that. You can already see that caramelization. So I asked, who knows what is creating that caramelization from happening in the first place? I answered that a couple minutes ago, so I'm just going to give the answer. It's sugar, folks. You don't caramelize steak, okay? That's called a sear, browning, the Maillard reaction. You caramelize sugars, so fruits and vegetables, okay? And things with sugar. And that's what's happening here. The heat is caramelizing those onions without any fat. So if you're a low-fat person, you can still get some delicious caramelized onions like so. I've also found that it kind of cooks them a little bit more evenly at times. I have a couple pieces here a little bit bigger. I'm not worried about it. It's getting blended. But sometimes when you have fat, what happens is, or a lot of fat, you end up kind of like frying little pieces and they get overdone, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the seeds here. I'm gonna show you two ways. The first way that I've seen is just cut this in half along the equator, and then you can basically squeeze out the seeds. Why would you squeeze out the seeds? Well, some people can't digest them very well. And well, most people can't digest seeds very well. And so that's that. So if you just want to get like the most out of there and you know you're going to be blending your product or whatever, boom, there you go. Now, if you're gonna do it that way, just do it to all of them here. Just pull out these seeds. You can go open it up like this and really get in there. Really just depends on, again, what you're looking to do. I don't do this at home. Seriously, like it's time consuming. And if I need skinless, seedless tomatoes, I'm gonna get it out of a can, folks. Now, what I always did was cut them lengthwise like this, and either with a spoon, just kind of go through. You know, one of the things, and like, if you want to have like a really nice even cut, you would remove this whole entire centerpiece, and then you can scrape this, okay? And if you want to have like perfect pieces where there's no white, that's where you take this and, you know, you go through. This is the one that got cooked a little bit longer, and you can turn them, and boom, now you've got a little small dice tomato concasse. So that'd be if you're making like a salsa of sorts, or you want them as a finished product. Okay, pretty simple. Generally just quarter it, come through, fillet that out, and look at that. You've got really nice little fleshies of tomato. Again, go through, cut them lengthwise, give them a little turn. And you can see I'm using a paring knife here to do something I should be using a chef's knife for. This is a utility knife, whatever you want to call it. But listen, all this is getting blended, so I'm just worried about, you know, showing you this process, getting rid of some of the seeds. I'm not a big fan of a bunch of seeds and whatnot, to be honest with you. Just fillet that out. And there you go. Again, we're going to lightly cook these actually, and then I don't know if we're going to blend it or if we're going to reduce the heavy cream down in the pan. We'll see what you guys want to do. It's all about you, chat. It's all about you. Push that off to the side. Let's go give our onions here a little toss about. Look at that. You got nice caramelization happening there. And again, this is just on a medium heat. Groovy. Get this last one out of the way. Quarter it. We're going to fillet out that centerpiece with all the seeds, with that white flesh. Now, some people might consider this over here a waste. Listen, they're in a French kitchen that would never go to waste, and a lot of kitchens that would never go to waste. That would be used to flavor something somewhere, or it would just be used whole. That's it. But that is a concasse, you know, just to remove the stems. I'm sorry, remove the seeds and whatnot, and you're left with that. And this one is the best example of the doneness of it. It's got a nice body to it. It's firm. This one from the first batch got cooked a little bit extra, but there you go. That is a tomato concasse. Actually, going to give this a little rough chop because I think I'm just going to blend this because I think it'll be faster for our sauce, and that's what I want. Okay, so we have our tomato fini. Get rid of, I mean, really, if you look at that, it's that middle part that's generally firmer, and it's just a lot of the seed and that goopy little liquidy stuff that kind of like holds the seeds in place there. I have been making cannabis solves for the past 3 and 4 years, off topic, but curious your thoughts on decarboxylation opinion when you get them up. Yeah, cook and grow, it's simple. Cannabinoids are at their most effective form when they are decarbed, okay? So when you look at the research on CBDA or THCA or other acid cannabinoids, you need a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them, okay, for them to be effective. When you look at non-intoxicating cannabinoids, you also need a lot of them for them to be effective. Now, if you're just working with THC, as long as it's decarb, just a few milligrams can do the trick and be scientifically effective, not anecdotally effective, which is, you know, a lot of the people in the industry, they say, oh, well, it works. Well, placebo is super, super strong, okay? So it's the most potent drug there is in the world. So if you're doing any type of topical, I would definitely recommend decarbing your concentrate or your flour first. My recommendation is 270 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes, whether that's an extract or flour. That's the simplest answer I can give you. I'm gonna be giving away a Cooking with Cannabis course that we just launched in partnership with the American Culinary Federation. During the stream here at the end, I'm gonna have some challenging quiz questions. Whoever gets it right will get access to the course. Well, not whoever gets it right, whoever gets it right first will get access to the course, so you'll get a chance to learn a hell of a lot more about decarboxylation, that's for sure. All right, so you can see the onions here. Some of them are starting to kind of dry out a little. So, I don't know, Martha, I don't know. I mean, they're definitely caramelized, but they don't look that great. They're looking dry. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna add some fat, because we're gonna end up adding some garlic and some other things in here now anyway. Yeah, that's what I like to hear, cooking. So, does a non-stick work for caramelizing? Yes. To what degree? Really depends on what you're looking to do, I guess. Let's be real. So I got some garlic here. Where's my knife? Here it is. I'm actually gonna cut this heat down because I forgot to prep my garlic first. I got all flustered in the beginning of the stream. I had to come on and off because I was having some technical difficulties, folks. It's also Friday. I should do my streams earlier in the week. Whatever. All right, I'm not going crazy on the garlic. I used to love a ton of garlic, but I tell you, the more, or the older and balder and grayer I get, the less garlic that I can handle. And it's not that it upsets my stomach or anything. I love it. Tastes great. The issue is I can taste it for like 48 hours after I'm done eating it. Even after brushing my teeth, swishing with some Listerine, now garlic, it just lingers on my palate forever. And it's not that nice when you're like laying in bed and you can just taste garlic. Oh, some of y'all might like that, but I don't know. It's not doing it for me anywhere. So I'm just gonna do a couple cloves of garlic here. And I don't think anyone is cooking from home, but what I'm doing is if you're a subscriber to the Trichome newsletter, you get the opportunity to get the ingredients list and the date of when I'm gonna be streaming. And I'll send it out like the Monday or Tuesday before I stream, so that y'all can have a chance to, you know, cook along from home, and that's that. So I'm just gonna do a little rough chop here. Nothing crazy. I don't want super tiny chunks of garlic because I don't want them to burn and get bitter. Burnt garlic is not a fun flavor, and it basically will totally ruin a dish. So burnt anything can ruin a dish, except for red peppers, roasted red peppers. It's a different type of burnt. We'll get our heat back on here. So we got the garlic. I'm actually gonna put my tomatoes in here as well. And what that's gonna do is just soften them. Again, they're gonna get blended. So what we're doing here is we're starting the foundation to this sauce. That's enough garlic. And let's see here. Basil I'm not worried about. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt over here into the pan as well. Not really to season necessarily, but helps pull off some moisture. And yeah, kind of embeds some of the flavor in there. But when you blend something, you can salt it at the very end and it's gonna be just fine. Nice caramelization on those onions actually. After they add a little fat in there, some spots that are a little bit dark, but they're not burnt because there was no fat. It's just like dried out, but now they're rehydrated. Okay, let's see here. Chat, what are y'all doing? I will prepare my tomatoes like that for my next, what is it? Cocido? Cocido, why do I not know what cocido is? A stew eaten as a main dish in Spain, Portugal, and Brazil. I mean, sign me up. And no one's on Facebook. Shocker. Hey, if anyone can share this post, like Facebook or whatever, just share and be like, this dude's freaking crazy, or this dude is, I don't know, say something catchy. This dude is weird. Whatever you want. Yeah, Cooking Girl. So I'm streaming through my company's YouTube and Facebook at the same time. When I just stream where it's just me and it's not like a Tricom related thing, I'm just on Twitch usually. Sometimes I go through my YouTube, but I'm never on the chat. I just do it over there because, I don't know, probably out of habit. Okay, this is what we're gonna do next. We're gonna make our infused basil oil, okay? And how we're gonna do that is quite simple. I'm gonna get a little beaker. And I'm gonna fill this up with some olive oil. And I'm gonna throw it in the air fryer and just heat it up a little bit. So I'm going to do a relatively potent let's just do 100 milliliters. Keep math simple, okay? And we're infusing this with some CBD isolate, okay? So I've got my 100 milliliters of extra virgin olive oil. And I have a 0.001 gram scale. And what I'm gonna do here is use CBD and CBG isolate, okay? So this is like 99+% pure CBD and CBG, so cannabidiol and cannabigerol. And I don't have a ton of CBG left here, but let's see here. Let's do, yeah, we can do a gram. So it's 1,000 milligrams. That'll do, of CBG, cannabigerol. We're just gonna pour that right in. And then we're gonna do 1,000 milligrams of CBD isolate. So we're basically creating a 1-to-1 ratio. Oh, near perfect. How about that? Okay. And the reason I'm putting this into the oil, as you can see here, it's just kind of sitting on top, is cannabinoids are fat soluble. So as this gets mixed into the oil, it'll over time eventually dissolve, okay? But if you heat it just a little bit, it'll dissolve a lot faster. I'm cutting the heat off of my sauce there. We're gonna wait. So you can see here how this is just kind of lingering on top and it's slowly falling down here. Eventually it would kind of find its way to, you know, dissolve, but it will take quite some time. So what we're gonna do here is throw this into the air fryer and let this oil heat up. It'll probably take about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, maybe a little longer. And get rid of my trays in here. Now, why am I throwing it into the air fryer? Because it's my version of an oven. I have an oven, but there's no point in turning it on. So I'm just gonna set this for like 10 minutes, and that'll be enough time for that to dissolve, and we will have our 1-to-1 ratio of CBD to CBG, and I put a gram each into 100 milliliters. So we have 2,000 milligrams total of cannabinoids in there. So the way this is gonna dose out is 20 milligrams per milliliter, okay? So 20 per milliliter times 100 is 2,000, so it's 1,000 milligrams each, 1-to-1. So per milliliter, you'll be getting 10 milligrams of CBD and 10 milligrams of CBG. Now, here's the deal. Is that an effective dose? It's really not. You need a lot of CBD and CBG when a couple milligrams of THC are not present. However, if you're smoking and you take a low dose tincture like this, those two will work together. Or if you can fortify that with a couple milligrams of THC per serving, then you're gonna have an effective, like true full spectrum type of dose. But I just wanna show you for the sake of one, I don't have a lot of these isolates left. So let's pretend, honestly, there's like 100 milligrams of each cannabinoid per milliliter. That is an effective dose. That's what you need to be taking if there's no THC that's present. Hey there, Gigi. From Hotlanta. I tell you, Chef, it was like 90 degrees here in good old Austin this past week for a couple of days. So yeah, it definitely got a little spicy up here. I don't understand why my light is going light and dark, and something happened with my camera. Hot diggity damn, that's annoying. Oh well, it gave me the opportunity to say hot diggity damn. I mean, it doesn't get much more dumber than that. Okay, so let's bring you all over to this camera here. And I can feel from the bowl, my charred red peppers are definitely cold to touch. And I'm not gonna worry about gloves because these aren't spicy. So we're gonna just pull these off. See that, the juice in there? That to me is worth keeping. And now, for these roasted red peppers, before you cut into them, you want to be able to use your knife and the best you can, get as much of the char off as possible, okay? Get as much of that off as possible. And you don't, all I'm doing is pushing away. I'm not gouging into or putting any real pressure into the pepper here. It's just scraping off. And here's the deal. These two red peppers, I think were, I don't know, probably, they're not cheap. They're probably $3 or something like that, in that ballpark. But if you were to go buy the amount of roasted red pepper that we're gonna get out of this, for the most part, it probably costs you anywhere from $5 to $10, to be honest with you. Depends if you're getting the super hippy dippy Whole Foods brand, or if you're, you know, getting the HEB brand or the Weiss brand, depends on where you're from. Kroger might be a middle of the range price, but that's it. That's what you want, okay? And we'll just put that off to the side. It's nice to have the little stem there to hold on to. And this is it. This is how you roast a pepper, folks. Char the shit out of it over an open flame. You can either deep fry it and blister up the edges. You won't get as much of a flavor as an open flame. You can grill them. You can roast them at super high temperature, like 500 degrees. It's not the ideal scenario, but it's still possible. I've never tried air frying them, but I'm sure you could do it. But this black char, that is a true roasted red pepper right there, folks. And you can see that the flesh is actually holding its body. It's soft, I mean, it's not like a normal, but that's the whole point, is you want to have a nice soft bite with a roasted red pepper, okay? Is there anything you can do with this? I wouldn't recommend it. You literally have black char. You have burnt pepper skin, okay? And there you have it. So, I'm going to clean off my cutting board. Wow, that came off. I might not even have to rinse it. Oh, good to go. That works for me. A little extra char left in there is totes my goats fine. And I'm gonna go take a little peep here at my infusion. And it's 90% dissolved. Okay, so bringing you all back. Now what we're gonna do here is you're just going to slice up and clean out your pepper, okay? I don't really care how you go about doing this. It depends on what you're doing. I am blending this, but I'll show you if you wanted to have nice little roasted red pepper strips. Kind of just quarter it, and you're just gonna fillet out the seeds. And then if you want to get like really clean with this, then you can go through here and you can also fillet out those pieces so that you're left with a pretty even thickness all throughout. Get rid of all those seeds. You don't want the seeds in there. This is a seed-free experience. Fillet that out. And part of it is you've got the white, which honestly it's the pith. It's not a big deal, in my opinion, to have a little bit of that in there. But what it does is it gives you a nice even width all throughout. So you can go through here and you can now cut nice roasted red pepper strips. You can do, you know, somewhere between a small and a medium dice. So I wouldn't go smaller than a 1/4 inch, otherwise they're just going to be too flimsy. But somewhere between there and a 1/2 inch, 3/8 of an inch, in that ballpark. Look at that, nice strips of roasted red pepper. You can do a small dice. You can do whatever you want. They're your roasted red peppers. And there you go. Now, if you want these to last quite a while, you know, ideally keep them in the refrigerator. You can toss them in some oil. Because there's so much water in here, if you actually store this in oil for a long time, that's a breeding ground for bacteria, basically, because there's water. So, but there you go. There's some roasted red pepper. Let's say probably 3. Yeah, I mean, if that's in it, usually roasted red peppers are in a tall jar. That would be kind of pricey. Excuse me, Keela, can I help you? My German Shepherd's like, I smell chicken. Okay, so we've got, oh, look at that. That's only 1 pepper. Where have I been? Where the hell have I been? So, yes, this is definitely going to be worth doing it on your own. For whatever reason, I was thinking that both peppers were there. All right, so for this one, I'm just going to do this quick, folks, because again, this is all going to get blended. Just pop that out. I don't mind about the little bit of pith in here. I just don't want the seeds or the stem. You know, it's interesting, like in culinary school, there's proper ways to do things, and then there's the way that people do things in kitchens, and there's the way that people do things at home. And even though a lot of the stuff I did learn in culinary school was incredibly invaluable, a lot of those things like don't happen in most kitchens. You know, roasting red peppers can take some time, so it depends on how often they're roasting them. You know, concassé tomato can take quite a bit of time, so it depends on like what is the purpose of the thing. To do a whole salsa, I doubt a lot of places are actually doing it, you know, because salsa goes so fast, you need so much of it to serve a decent amount of people. However, if you just need a tomato concassé as a garnish or to finish the sauce and you want it to look really nice, well, in that case, it would make sense to do. So, okay. Let's see here. Gigi, doing good, doing good. Looking for CPD raw flour, 270, 30 minutes, so you have others watching. All right, I think I'm all caught up on chat. And let's see here. Oh, no one's on YouTube or Facebook. Shocker! If you don't pay, Facebook does not let you play, and that's it. Okay, cool. All right. Hey, on anyone watching, is my camera getting like? Is it going really dark when I walk away, and then when I get closer, does it lighten back up like this front-facing camera? Let me know if that's the case, because I don't know what the hell happened. I'm just having a bunch of tech bullshit today. Okay, so we've got that prepped. Our infusion is totally dissolved, so I'm just gonna open that up and I'm just gonna let it cool down because I don't wanna have super hot basil oil when I blend that together. So what we're gonna do next is get our zucchini pasta prepped here, which is very simple. Without having to go through and clean all of that. And here we go. You want to have anywhere from like 6 to 8 inch long zucchini, okay? And you want to make sure that they're not floppy. Legit, some zucchini you get in the grocery store, when you grab them, they just like, no, you don't want that. And this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna put it down on its side, and it doesn't really matter what end you start your this from. I think the lighting is fine on YouTube. Cool, all right, thanks Gavin, appreciate it. Now, you're gonna go with a vegetable peeler, and you're basically going to go like this. And with pushing down, give it some weight. And then when you hit a width and you're done with it, just give it a little turn. And I don't care if you're gonna have different widths. What I'm more concerned about is making sure that the depth, the thickness of the pasta is similar, okay? I actually like them kind of wide. It ends up being a fun little bite. And then you can see where the seeds start to shine through here. Maybe. There you go. So you see how that starts to shine through? That's when you just move on to the next thing. And I'm putting a good amount of pressure here on this because I want it to get a thicker cut. If you get a little bit of the seed area in there, it's not a big deal. Remember, this is a seed-free stream, folks. We don't want seeds in our weed. We don't want seeds in our tomatoes, our concassé. We don't want it in our peppers. And there you have it. And this is what you're left with, okay? Oh, geez. That's it. And here's the thing. I don't really like this part of a zucchini anyway. It gets soft and mushy. So just get rid of it, all right? And this is the foundation to your zucchini pasta, okay? Now, this might look like a decent amount. That is not. I would say, generally speaking, you're going to need at least 2 of these per person because these shrink up quite a bit. Now, you're not eating the seeds, remember? So it's not as much as you would normally think. Like if you were to sit down and just eat 2 zucchini, well, that's not what's happening here. Remember, giving enough pressure. Now, you can use a zoodler, and I have one, but almost everyone has a vegetable peeler. Not almost everyone has a zoodler. And then sometimes at the end there, you can get little extra tiny pieces. Look at that. Now, it looks like a shit ton. That is going to turn into nothing. These pieces that are all skin, if you don't want those, get rid of them. I think they look cool. And the way we're going to cook these is they're going to have a decent amount of texture to them. So you don't have to, I'm sorry, they're going to have texture, but they're not going to be super soft. No one wants a super soft zucchini pasta. Like literally, these things are going to get a little bit of butter, salt, and maybe some citrus juice, some lemon juice or zest. And we're basically going to go right to the plate and then lightly sauced. Okay, you don't want to soak these things in a heavy cream sauce because, well, because you're basically just going to end up with a soggy little zucchini squash mess. Okay, see how I'm doing this? So simple. Actually, it'd be probably easier with one of the T-shaped vegetable peelers, so you can pull like that instead of going like I'm going, but either way. Again, you're gonna give it a nice little bit of pressure, so you're getting as thick of a piece as you can in the sense of the depth you're going into your zooks. Zooks and cukes. Whenever it was Zooks and Cukes Day on the farm up in Maine, that was a bad day because the zucchini plant and the cucumber plant have like a bunch of trichomes all over them to protect them, and they hurt. So what I would do is I would put tube socks and gloves on. Tube sock with my thumb sticking it and my fingers out, and then gloves on so I could get down in there without getting my arms all mucked up, if you will. And there you have it, folks. That might seem like a lot, but really, that's gonna serve 2 people. Maybe 3, depends on how much chicken you're looking at having, but there you have it. Cocido. Am I saying that right, Gavin? Cocido? Because it sounds, I was just reading a simple little description on it earlier and it sounded good. I mean, I love any type of Latin food, to be honest with you. I love all food, honestly. Like, even some of like the more, what people consider like, I guess like, what would it be considered, like Western European, Northern European? Some of the foods like people think is like very bland. It's just like, you know, potatoes and meat and cabbage and like stuff like that. But they have an amazing cuisine. It's just, you know, the whole like meat and potato stereotype. I don't think it's true at all. I mean, it is to a point in the sense they have those offerings, but even that type of food is absolutely amazing. When I was in Czech, I absolutely loved the simple food there, to be honest with you. It's absolutely fantastic. Okay, what's next? Chicken. We got to get our chicken going. I'll worry about sanitizing here in a little bit. So I've got my, let's see where we're at. All right, so I have the base of my sauce is sauteed, caramelized, good to go. That, I think I'm going to heat back up a little bit, and then we're gonna throw it into, actually, I'm gonna add some cream in there. I don't know. I think I'll add cream in there, simmer that, then put it into the blender, or I could just, tell you what, we'll figure it out when we get there. We've got our zucchini pasta, which I love, ready to rock. We've got our roasted red peppers. That's what this is gonna go in there. I was looking at this, I'm like, my volume is not there to thicken my sauce the way I want it. Now it is, and we're gonna use heavy cream and some butter for that. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to remove the skin and bone from the chicken thighs that I have here. So let's bring y'all back into the front facing here. Hey, anybody on Twitch still alive? Say hi. Love me some corned beef cabbage. A lot of stews and soups around the world are underrated. I think soup is absolutely fantastic. I'm a huge fan of soup. My absolute favorite soup is French onion soup. And I think it just goes back to the cheese as a kid. I remember, can I have extra cheese on top? Oh, I remember the first place I had that at was absolutely delicious. Okay, so here's the deal. Whenever you're working with chicken, make sure that you don't have other things around that are super close that are gonna get chicken juice sprayed around on them. I'm actually gonna put on some gloves just so I can actually have a little bit better of a, you know, I don't need gloves, but I don't like, here's the thing. Chicken itself does not inherently have salmonella, okay? It's shit chicken does. This most likely, Costco chicken, even if it's organic, you know, it's just, you gotta be careful with it. So what you're gonna do here with the chicken, first thing I do is I will take the skin, and there's a part of the thigh where the skin is like really attached. That's where you wanna pull towards, okay? So grab the loose end, and then you're going to pull towards that. Now, from here, worry about any extra fat or anything like that you wanna trim off in a little bit. But what you wanna do right now is flip this over. Now there's generally two ends. You have one end where the bone is all the way at the end here, and then you have one where the meat is gonna find its way past the bone. You wanna have the bone towards the very end, towards your dominant hand. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put some pressure, and on each side of the bone, you're just going to very, very lightly slice along there, okay? And then you have this really thin little piece of chicken right here, and you go in underneath with your knife, and you can cut that out and cut that out, okay? So there's a little bit of meat left on here. I'm not worried about it, okay? You've got cartilage and stuff like that. Then you wanna take your piece of meat and you wanna flip it over so you have the inside out. Now this here bone, this is left over from the body, okay? And then you wanna feel around to where there's additional cartilage, and just make sure there's nothing that's there that shouldn't be. And then at this point, if you want to get rid of some of the extra fat, I say go for it. It's really up to you. Some of this fat is like super flavorful, like this, but the skin for thighs, if they're like being grilled, I'm a big fan of it, but this we're not gonna cook to have a super crispy skin. If they're being fried and you wanna keep the skin on, go for it. So you can trim this up as much as you want. There's plenty of fat in dark meat, so it's already juicy and moist and delicious as is, okay? So let's do this again. I'm gonna blaze through these next two, grabbing the skin from the loose end, and I'm pulling towards the end where it's really stuck. Worry about trimming fat when you're done because you have a flat piece. You're gonna put the bone that's to the very end towards your dominant hand. You're gonna put some pressure on each side of the bone. So as you're lightly just slicing to each side, you're ever so gently pulling the meat away. And then once you get where you can grab it like this, you're gonna come underneath and you're gonna push out. And you're gonna come back through and you're going to remove the bone. And then with the smooth side down, so the exterior, you're just gonna feel around for cartilage. Ooh, a little extra piece right there. And as you're spinning, you wanna pull off a little bit of the fat, go for it. And then feel from the butcher, there's a little bone right there. Just pop that out. And you know, you can be super anal about how much meat is left on the bone. To be honest with you, do what you want. Loose part, pull towards where it's really attached. Flip over, bone that's sticking out closer. Pressure, you're gonna lightly come through here. You're gonna create that little thin area where you can get underneath with your fingers. Like that, I can feel my fingers are almost touching. You're gonna come up, you're gonna remove that bone, and then you're gonna come through and you're gonna get any bit of cartilage, excess fat that you don't want on there. Keela, no. She literally just had her whole snout in the trash. And that little piece doesn't feel right. Feel for bones, feel for cartilage. There's another little, that might actually be an artery or something. It's hard right there. Anyway, and that's it. If you want to get rid of little bits and pieces like that, go for it. A lot of that's just going to render out when you're cooking it anyway, just so you know. Ooh, did I just catch my finger? Almost. Okay, so there you have it, folks. That is removing the bone and skin. Oop, there's another little piece. Don't want that in there. The bone and the skin from chicken thigh. Here's the deal. This right here, as is, from the grocery store is between $3 to $5, sometimes more, depending on where you're buying it, $3 to $5 a pound, okay? Whereas what I just did to create this was 99 cents a pound, all right? So taking 30 seconds or so per chicken thigh can definitely save you some money. And when you weigh out the waste of the bone and the skin, you're still ahead of the ball game, okay? You're still saving money even though you're paying for that loss. Now, if you like to make your own stock and chicken soups and stuff like that, then you can easily take all of that, even the fat, because you can render out the fat for some schmaltz. And basically you can, oops, wrong button. You can make a stock out of that and get the most out of your ingredients, but whether you do or don't do that, I would highly recommend still make sure, oh, I totally forgot about my other little camera here. Hey, it's the I'm doing the dishes cam. Yeah, so you basically want to make sure that you are either saving money or getting the most out of your ingredients, or the best case scenario is both. So however you go about your chicken thighs, at least just buy them with the bone and skin on so you can save some money. And that's that. I put that off to the side, give this a quick little rinse here. And here. Almost ready to get back at, oh, we gotta clean that cutting board. Mise en place, everything in its place. Doing dishes is part of being a chef. Or at least having someone else do your dishes. Keeping your shit clean, okay? Quick little, whoa! Relax, Key. It's okay. It's okay. She thinks I'm yelling at her or something. This can go in the washer. Ooh, my butt crack almost fell out. Good thing you guys didn't see that, you creeps. All right. So our infusion is, get this off to the side here, dishes later, and I think we're ready to clean my chicken board and we can get right back to it. So when it comes to like chicken and stuff like that, again, super cautious about chicken stuff getting everywhere. So making sure all the little tidbits go down the drain. And then this water here gets stupid hot. So I have this blasting on hot. I'm gonna let that run for a little bit and essentially kind of, you know, heat that up, kill some of that, and then we'll give it a little wash with some soap and that's that. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. All right, we got a couple people. French onion, guaranteed is the bomb. The childhood memories do come back for me, all about the Gruyere. Yes. Well, it's funny is the place where I lived in the middle of nowhere, they didn't do Gruyere, which is like the traditional way. They did provolone, which works pretty well because it caramelizes and then it kind of firms back up and it holds its shape while also being a little bit stringy. And so I remember it just as provolone on there. And it was delicious. It was absolutely delicious. I'm not complaining at all. But yeah, Gruyere, or mix the two together. But they would just literally put a slice of provolone on top and put it in the broiler, and that was it. But if you mix provolone and Gruyere together, it's a pretty tasty little mixture there. Okay, so I have this listed as blackened chicken. So here's the deal. I thought I had a blackened seasoning, and I didn't. And then I thought I had like some dried thyme and oregano and some other stuff. Nope, didn't have that either. I have oregano, but didn't have thyme or some of the other stuff. So I have this Slap Ya Mama hot sauce, which is pretty damn spicy. It's salted. The first ingredient is salt. Always look and see if there's salt in any type of rub. So a lot of people salt stuff and then they put the rub and then they're in for like a disgusting salt-tastic voyage here. So I'm gonna put a pretty decent layer of Slap Ya Mama here on both sides. This stuff is pretty damn spicy, but I am a huge fan of it. And then when we cook this in the oil, it's going to blacken to a point. It will definitely get darker. If you have something like this and you really want it to have a darker color to it, you could get like some paprika and throw it on there, or paprika, however you like to say it. And that's it. This stuff is really good though because of the spice. I'm a big fan. And that with like the heavy cream will kind of help cut it, the fat in there. It's gonna be a delicious little experience. So, okay. Let me get some soap on this board. And then we'll get to it here. Just thinking I need to order an immersion blender. I had one and it died on me a couple months ago. And, oh, I forgot to switch the camera over, and here I am talking to you guys and not showing the right screen. God, pay attention, guys. Where have you been, Gavin? You're supposed to be on top of this shit. Hey. Toby, what's going on? Hey there, Adam. Woo. All right, so, well, here. Shit. Okay, so there's my my spicy chicken thighs. Pretty simple. Now I didn't even oil them or anything because I'm going to woo! Hot damn. I'm telling you, these things are spicy. Tons of cayenne pepper in there. I didn't oil them because they're already wet. They're going to be going into a pan. Actually, I think I'm gonna cook them in this nonstick as well because I haven't used it to sear meat yet, and I'm curious how that's going to go. So tell you what, let's bring, thank you, Toby. Sometime, I tell you, growing up, my dad would always sneeze and say achoo shit, and I would giggle like a little school boy, girl, whatever you want to call it, every single time. That shit made me happy. It's amazing how much of my father, his sense of humor has carried over to me. Not so much my sister, but definitely to me. My sister has a good sense of humor, but not like my dad and I do. She's not as goofy as we are. One of my favorite things, my dad, he has a tattoo on his, I think his left shoulder, and it's Yosemite Sam, like old school Yosemite Sam with two pistols out like this, and that's it. Years later, in his like 40s, he got it redone and touched up, which is awesome. But I would always like see his tattoo and be like, Daddy, what's that? He'd be like, it's a tattoo, you little shit. And I'd be like, what's a tattoo? And he explains that. I'm like, do you have any more? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I got a squirrel on my inner thigh reaching up like this. I never got that as a kid until later on. I was like, oh, he's reaching for nuts. Ha! Good old dad humor. Okay, so let's get our basil oil going. Let's get our basil oil going. Muchacho, I like that. So I usually never have a mustache for more than like a couple of days. But when I read that, I read mustachio, not muchacho. But I'm digging the little mustache thing. I like it, I like it. I just buzz this down instead of shaving it. So I think it kind of blends well. But my wife, she seems to be okay with it. So, all right, so my basil's good to go. Now, the reason I said I wish I had an immersion blender is because when I put this into the blender, this shit's gonna fly everywhere. And I don't think it's going to be as pure pulverized as I'd care for it to be. But we'll just have to pulse, go a few times. Now, here's the deal. I dosed this infusion before I'm blending it and before I'm having it in here. So no matter how much oil I end up with when I'm done, it's still going to be dosed out to be 10 milligrams each CBD, CBG per milliliter, okay? Now, here's the thing we also gotta consider, all right? Displacement. So I'm adding liquid, or I'm adding solid product into this infusion. So there's kind of like an acceptable amount of measurement uncertainty that like a lot of like cannabis labs and everything they have, where they'll say it's like plus minus like 10% of what the actual lab test says, and same thing with dosing. And it's just like the way the world is, you know, not everything is always perfect. For pharmaceuticals, it should be. They take all that into consideration. They're super careful testing, but not so much in the cannabis space. There are some brands that are being super hyper exact with their dosing. But so I just added volume into this. So, you know, what I should do is blend the oil and the basil, see what's left over, then infuse it. But the issue with that is then I would be heating my my basil in the oil, which would not go, that would not be good. So considering this is a non-intoxicating infusion, I'm not worried about measurement uncertainty, because 10 and 10 milligrams of CBD and CBG isn't going to do much at all by itself anyway, and it's definitely not going to hurt anyone if they have more than that or less. Okay, so let's blend this up. Oh, it's actually, I was worried it wasn't going to pull all the basil down. I think it's going to be fine. So I'm going to put this on ultra blend, so don't mind the noise, whatever the fuck ultra blend means. Oh, so it kind of goes, so it settles and then it is able to grab the stuff off the side. I need a drink. Oh, it's right here. It does it for a minute. It's actually doing a pretty decent job. All right, for a minute of blending, that did a pretty good job. What I'm gonna do is actually let this settle for a minute, and then I'm gonna turn it back on shortly. Actually, probably I'll just leave it in there, and every once in a while I'm gonna pulse it just to try and get some of these little bits that are coming down. And I'm actually curious now how that's gonna come through my syringe. So what we're probably gonna end up doing, because a milliliter for this is not that big, so we're actually gonna do a teaspoon of the oil into each plate as a garnish, and then we're going to be getting 50 milligrams each of CBD and CBG. That could actually be possibly an effective dose. So I did formulate this properly. I'm just so used to putting things in milligrams per milliliter and 1 milliliter doses. Oh, you know what else we're gonna do? Glad you asked. We're going to, what are you making right now in the blender? Hey, Adam. I am making an infused CBD, CBG basil oil. So it smells great. It's basil, olive oil, CBD, CBG isolate, and that's it. Now here's the thing. Terpenes, what's a terpene? Well, a terpene is in almost every plant there is. They are defense mechanisms actually, or they're there to attract pollinators, okay? They're aroma compounds that smell delicious. If you drink soda water that's flavored, you're drinking terpenes, you're smelling terpenes. Citrus, shit ton of terpenes in that peel. They're everywhere, okay? You can isolate them and you can add them into your ingredients. You can also use them in vape pens to dilute viscous distillate so you can vaporize that shit. And terpenes in cannabis, think of it this way. THC is the gas pedal when it comes to marijuana. Terpenes are the wheel, and terpenes say what direction you're gonna go. Are you gonna go couch lock sedative? Are you just gonna be, just low cruising down the road? Or are you gonna do a fucking 180 zipperoo around and you just like totally stimulate it, okay? Now, through inhalation, terpenes affect your high, but they don't through digestion, okay? Doesn't mean that terpenes can't be medicinally beneficial or have physiological effects, but terpenes through digestion don't do the same thing as they do through inhalation. Your stomach acid. Actually, you know what? Adam, you won last time. What are the 3 things, Adam, that make terpenes near irrelevant when it comes to an edible? Well, he's gonna list those over on YouTube. What I can tell you is this. Terpenes with food are just like that Slap Yo Mama rub that I put on my chicken. They're there for flavor and aroma, but more so aroma than flavor. But if you get too much of an aroma, you're gonna fuck up the flavor. Just the way it goes. Ooh, I think that was my first F-bomb. That's not bad for what? An hour and 28 minutes into a stream, dropping my first one? I'm on fire. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is Asamine. This is floral, woody, and citrusy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Asamine is one of those terpenes that it's not super, super pungent like citral. I would say it's less pungent than linalool. Again, it's gonna depend on the brand that you're working with. But I looked at the terpenes in most basil varieties, and Asamine is not towards the top of the list. But I was thinking, as I'm smelling it and look at these other terpenes, that this would pair well with this. So now our basil oil just has a little extra. There's a little bit of a citrus vibe to it. There's actually, I would say, woody, spicy, floral, and citrusy. And it's just gonna take our herb oil to a different level, and it's subtle. Someone may smell it on the plate, they may not. Someone may taste something and they're just like, wow, that basil's just got a little extra oomph to it. That's what terpenes are supposed to be. Kind of like salt, just enough, so it's salted, okay? That's how you wanna think about terpenes. So I'm gonna let this settle for a minute, and then we're gonna turn that on every once in a while as we are getting our, I think what we should do now actually is get our sauce. Okay. I can do a blended sauce that's gonna look pinkish red, or I can take all of those sauteed veggies and those roasted red peppers and I could mince them up the best I could. And then I could simmer the heavy cream in there, add some Parmesan cheese and thicken that so our sauce will have body to it because of the heavy cream and the cheese, but then there will also be like little chunks of veggies here and there. So what do you guys think? Should we do like a pureed sauce that's very one-dimensional essentially, or should we have something that's a little bit more rustic? Now, I'm gonna have to mince these up because everything's cut differently because I was gonna blend it originally. And then if we blend it, those caramelized onions are gonna brown the sauce a little bit, which isn't fine. That's gonna be fine because the red from the peppers, it's gonna be more red than anything. You guys let me know. What do you think we should do? Should we just blend the crap out of this? Your liver, bioavailability, and heat. Yeah, so think of it as heat or decarb, stomach, and liver. Bioavailability and liver are pretty much, think of that as the same thing. Okay, so chat, let me know. Do we want to have a blended, super creamy sauce, or do we want something that's a little bit more rustic? Let me know, and we'll do whatever you guys want to do. And while you're figuring that out, I guess your answers to that question will determine what I do with this pan next. Lay it on me, chat. In the meantime, I'm going to respond to a text message from my wife. Okay, let's see here. Creamy, cheesy, and somewhat rustic. Rustic. All right, so we got 2 creamy and cheesy. Well, they're both gonna be creamy and cheesy. Or, I'm sorry, they're both gonna be cheesy. They're both gonna be creamy because of heavy cream. But do we want blended or rustic? So right now, let's recast your votes here. Just say blended or rustic. And I'll give it another minute. Creamy, cheesy, and somewhat, never mind, that was already there. So yeah, hey Cheryl. Thanks for joining chat, appreciate it. Where's, I know there's just a few of you. All right, so we got a blended. All right, let's lay it on me here, chat. There's a delay. Blended. Rustic. I don't think there's too many more people that are on chat. There could be a tiebreaker here. Another blended. Okay, blended it is. That's gonna be the go-to here. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm going to grab this. Do I have another blade for this ninja? I do not. So I'm gonna blend this real quick again. I'm gonna transfer that and then rinse that off, and then we're gonna get everything rocking. Okay, I'm gonna get the heat going on this pan. All right, so I'm basically just heating this all back up. Oh God, that's obnoxious. Okay, so we're gonna take our basil oil here. And I'm just, you guys can't see it, that's okay. I'm just transferring it into a little mason jar. And I'm gonna do my best to get as much out of here. There's definitely gonna be waste, a little bit of loss here, but not a shit ton. Quite a bit came out. And I'm gonna rinse off everything. I'm not going to wash this. There's no THC in it, so I'm not worried. Just to get the green out. Blended. We got the blended gang. Shit. I like blended, to be honest with you. And it's also going to speed up the thickening process. Because there's two ways that I can go about making this sauce. The one is I can just blend stuff and then reduce, or I can blend all my veggies here and then I can add heavy cream to get to the consistency that I want, and then I can always, you know, reheat it. So I'm going to let this stuff start simmering again. Ideally in a situation where I'm not cooking and chatting with everyone. I would have just gone right from the pan, from the saute into this to make the sauce. But I got distracted from you guys. All right, Toby, what's in the pan? Okay, so I have caramelized onions, some garlic, some tomato, and roasted red pepper. I know it looks weird right now because there's like different size stuff, but the reason I did that was for demonstration purposes and also because I originally was going to blend it. So that's that. Okay. And that is the foundation to our roasted red pepper cream sauce, which I'm glad we're blending. Good call. I like rustic stuff, but I think for this, the blending would be better. So some of y'all won for good reason. Okay, so I've got, so let's see, here's some Parmesan. I've got some good Parmesan here, which is gonna be, actually, maybe I'm gonna do a mix. Okay, I've got that Parmesan I need to use. I also have some goat cheese. Pecorino Romano. I think we'll do a little mix of cheeses here. I've got a couple different things that I think will be good. All right. Let's do a little split screen here. You know what? Let's give you guys a little something different. Except, what's this one? No. You guys are getting it from all frickin' angles now. You can't get rid of me. It ain't happening. Okay. So I've got some Parmesan, some Pecorino Romano, and then this is Parmesan too. I just want to use it up. And for this, we're going to use a larger style microplane because it's going to be blended. Also, it's going to be used as a garnish. So this is going to be good for that. Our chicken is getting that hot, spicy spice all absorbed into its delicious little fleshy flesh. Whoever talks like that? Me. I do. Deal with it. And, ooh, a little, I don't know how, man, that is delicious. That's got this, like, little spice, like, really good. All right, so everything is getting heated up here. That's good to go. I'm going to cut the heat, put this into this bowl, and use that to get this into the blender. Man, that's got a nice, good stuff. Grab my tongs, get everything in here. Smells good. This is lightly salted, but not seasoned, okay? We'll season this at the very end. Again, we've got some caramelized onions, garlic, some tomato, and roasted red pepper. And that onion smells Ooh, so good. Okay. And now I'm just gonna put, I'm gonna blend this first. Who knows how juicy this could end up being. So we're gonna hit this with the blender just to see how much heavy cream I'm actually gonna need in here. Super glad I did that. So definitely a thick nappe. So nappe is the consistency, the thickness. Ooh. And definitely thick, okay? So we're gonna hit this with a, oh God damn, that smells good. That roasted red pepper just smacks you in the face, and then there's a little bit of that like caramelized onion that shines through. Hey there, NLJ, over on Twitch. A little bit of heavy cream here. I'm excited for this. Super excited. Hot top blender, not always the best thing, just so you all know. I gotta get a regular blender. This is annoying. Not being able to like pour in from the top, you know? That is a nice consistency. There's some air in that, so. Damn. It needs a touch of salt. And I almost want to put some tomato or lemon zest in there, but I'm gonna wait the zest and use that as a garnish instead. But that is a nice, I think I might blend some butter into this as well, but I'm gonna wait on that until we're close to service. And then the salt, I'm gonna have the cheese in there too. Let's get some cheese in there. That'll help with the salt flavor. That is so good. So good. This is Parmesan. So this extra fat in here will kind of help bind this a little bit too. That's also why I want to put some butter in. Actually, I'm just gonna put some butter in now. Probably would have been better if I grated this cheese elsewhere and then threw it in. But whatever. What am I? Perfect? And now I get all these delicious little pieces of Parmesan. I think Parmesan is definitely one of the best cheeses, especially when it's fresh. I mean, hell, don't get me wrong. Give me some $3 shaker jar of Parmesan, and I think that's good. Not a huge fan of the cellulose, the sawdust that's in there as the decaking agent, but fresh Parmesan, just that tiny little bit, fantastic. All right, we're getting there, folks. All we really have to do, like the only major thing after this is just cooking the chicken, because the zucchini, burpee. The little zucchini pasta is gonna be pretty easy, actually. Okay, I am ordering a blender. This is ridiculous. Even just an immersion blender, God. I will add some butter to that and some salt if needed shortly. In the meantime, folks, what we're gonna do here is clean this nonstick real quick. Just a sponge without, I get all the soap out generally and just give it a quick, nice little once over. Ooh, that's hot. The pan, not the water. Jesus. So I haven't used this pan to cook any meat high heat yet. So that's the experiment here for our blackened chicken thigh. I'm gonna set it to medium-ish, medium high, and we'll see what happens. Quick little wipe reset here. The way everything you're looking at is beautiful. Okay, so what's everyone doing tonight? Friday night? My wife is working. She'll be home a couple hours. Oh God, it's just 4 o'clock. I'm not doing a damn thing. When I'm done here, I'm gonna go walk the pups. Have a nice chill night. I actually maybe going to get a motorcycle tomorrow, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. Not sure what I'm gonna do yet. It's an option. First bike. Researching for months. I think it's time to finally pull the trigger. I can't open chat and it'll pop out. I'm making some infused gummies tonight. Nice. What flavor, Adam? All right. So it's nonstick, but I want to cook this into some fat because I want that blackened seasoning to adhere really well. I also want it to, you know, I want that flavor. I want that sear, that good fat flavor, but I'm going to use avocado oil. I'm going to put a decent amount in here because I'm going to put all 3 in at once. And I want some of the fat to kind of come up a little bit up the side, not like a pan fry, but just so it's not just there, a little bit up the side on these. And it's going to be good stuff. So I think what I'm going to do here is give you guys 2 camera angles as we're flipping around because there's really not too much happening on the top right there. So let's do split screen. No, 3-way doesn't work. No, let's do this one and this one. Peach lime and pink starburst. Yummy. All right, here we go. So we've got fat that's getting hot. I've got avocado oil. Why avocado oil? Well, it handles high heat better without smoking like crazy, okay? I like smoking my kitchen when it's coming off of a joint, preferably a hemp joint these days, but here we go. We're gonna put a little down in here. Oop, nope, I lied. Fat's not ready. See how it's not really bubbling up there? Actually, you know what? That might not be too bad because of, I want this to get a good sear, but not undercook the interior or burn. So this nonstick, it's funny because the fat just doesn't like to adhere to pan anywhere. Well, we're gonna see how this works. This is definitely an experiment. Here's the cool thing about chicken thighs as well, folks. See how this is thick, okay? This is thin, that's thicker, thin, thicker. It's impossible to tempt chicken thighs so that the doneness is even throughout. It's kind of hard to do that with a lot of meats, even a chicken breast at times because they taper at the one end. But with this, it's dark meat. And the good thing about dark meat is it's like super delicious and fatty, so you can overcook parts of it well above 165 and it doesn't get dry like chicken breast. So I'm a huge fan of dark chicken meat. Total good fan. Good fan. I'm saying good fan because I read the word good somewhere. Use words! Words is hard. So our sauce here, it's got this rich blood, like not blood orange, but like rustic orange color. It's not really brown. It's more orange and red than brown, which is good. So that on the plate with the green shining through from the the pasta, the chicken. We're gonna have the green oil on there, the lemon zest and the Parmesan. It's gonna have some color. It's gonna be nice looking. I'm feeling good about it. And we're gonna plate this up. Ooh, so I have these brown bowls, which might be too much. And then I have a white plate. You guys be the judge. Should we plate this up in like a very complementary color or a very clean white? Let me know. Should we do a big pasta bowl in this or the plate? You let me know. Whichever I see the most of, we'll make that happen, okay? We're gonna have a nice little Blackened-esque type of vibe going on here. So far so good. I'm feeling good about I'm gonna put these sticker ends to the middle here. We're gonna have a little bit more heat. See what I did there? Illuminati! I cracked myself up. Pasta bowl. All right, Adam. You say pasta bowl. I say yes, sir. Hey, Twitch, is anyone alive over there? Y'all are just dead quiet today. I know it's early. My usual ball-busting Twitchers are either still at work or, hell, they could still be in bed for all I know. All right, this song is so freaking repetitive. Oop, 201. Ooh, is that my motorcycle guy? Guys, I might have to make a quick call here. Who's calling me from Ridgewood, New Jersey at 4:05 p.m.? Ridgewood? 201. I just looked up the number and it was like featured on the Catfish show, like for spam dialing. The number didn't pop up in the little meta description, but it was funny that that's what popped up here. All right. So we're getting a nice, I think I may have to finish this in the oven. Otherwise it's going to get too blackened. So I just set this to 400. We'll see. I don't want to have burnt. Blackened I'm good with, but I'm going to get that oven on just in case. And then for our zucchini, we're basically just going to, when I'm done with the chicken, we're going to use that same pan and toss them in some butter with a little bit of lemon juice, I think. Very simple. Super, super simple. I don't know. I might be able to get it. You know, I think I don't want it to get so hot in here. I'm going to throw them and finish them in the air fryer. Just put it at a low heat. That'll be, ooh, it's getting spicy in here, folks. That cayenne pepper is floating around. Woo! God, it's also spicy in here because it's 75 degrees. Holy crap. I didn't have the air on. All right, folks, now we wait. We wait for some chicken. Enjoy that chicken and my bald head walking around. Adam, where in Jersey are you from? I lived in Millville, Vineland area, Cape May, Asbury Park, New Brunswick, Ocean Grove. Ocean Grove. There we go. That's blackened. I like it. I don't know why I'm using these little nuggets, but whoa, easy. Nice. There we go. Blackened chicken. Whew, man, that spice is permeating the air for sure. I live in Seaside, but I'm from Wall. Yep, I know Wall. Just southwest, right? Wall was just southwest of Asbury Park. I used to live on 6th, and I lived on Deal Lake. You know the 7-Eleven at, no, 7th I lived on. 7th and Main, that's 7-Eleven right there. I lived in the house and the second house behind there. Both of them. I rented rooms from some friends. Let me get some agua. Wow. I've been becoming a wuss lately with breathing in spice. Woo! Get the air purifier kicking it out here. I think what I'm going to do is just drain. No, I want the pasta to just be very light and green because we're not going to soak it. We're going to put a little bit of the sauce on there as a garnish. Wow. Sorry, guys. Sorry about all these weird noises I'm making. Yeah, that 7-Eleven, Adam, and if you're facing the 7-Eleven, there's a little liquor store to the left of it, and then the McDonald's is right across the street, and I think there was a, a Dunkin' Donuts across there as well. All right, so I'm gonna temp the thick end of this meat here real quick. Wow, it is 150. Oh no, it's 129. $135. We're getting there. I think I'm not going to finish those. I'm just going to let them finish on here. I'm going to cut that. Holy crap, guys. Sorry. It is wicked spicy in here right now. Got some nice color. Yeah, I'm digging it. I'm just gonna let these finish up top here instead of getting the air fryer going. Just gonna have to suffer through. Adam, on oh, what's the name of the street? It starts with a C. It's like the second street. There's like Lake Drive or whatever. Coming from Ocean Grove, the first street goes along the little lake there. The next street that starts with a C, where all the restaurants and shops and stuff are. I used to work at a place called the Harrison that used to be there. It's been out of business for years, but I worked at a restaurant bar there. Cookman Ave? I can't remember if that's the name of it. Yeah, I think Cookman Ave. I could be wrong. It's been a while. All right, looks like chicken is done. Thank the Lord. Oh, wow. Okay, let's get you the hell out of here. Ooh, a little piece for me. Okay, well, hopefully my lungs will be able to calm down. That really got me. Let's taste this little piece here that fell off. That's tasty. Woo! Nice little spice. Wow. I put way too much of that shit on there. Oh well. It's gonna be good. Sometimes I like spice that's got a little, just a touch of pain to it. This is gonna have a little touch of pain to it. All right, so that pan cleaned off immediately. And now we're gonna get to our pasta. Low heat. Ooh, boy. Guys, again, sorry for like coughing in your ear. It's like I either got to go on mute for a while or just you're gonna have to deal with it. Turn your volume down because that really got me. All right, we're gonna put a good amount of butter in here, like 4 tablespoons, okay? The whole point here is to lightly coat every little inch of this zucchini with butter. Low temperature. Do you know anything about hard candy infusion? No, but it's no different than, you know, basically you want to make sure it's all homogenized. And with a hard candy, generally you're working with a homogenized mixture. It's just being able to dose it out properly. I'm not a sweet guy. I don't do baking or sweets, so it's just not my expertise. Wow, that got me good. Okay, so let's bring you back over here. So low heat. We got, actually, we need more butter than that, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. What's gonna make these so tasty is the essentially al dente doneness with the mouthfeel and the creaminess of the butter. That's what's gonna do the trick. A little bit of lemon juice in there. Actually, I might do a little bit of vinegar instead. Just, I'm talking a touch. I don't know. I think there's gonna be enough acid in the, yeah, I think we'll be good. All right, let's make sure we got our chicken resting. Our sauce is good to go. Let's get the rest. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave, let's get this going so it's pretty much melted. Wow. I wish I had like, so what sucks about all these like apartments, or we're in a single family, but it's still built like an apartment, is like it comes up and it goes out. It doesn't actually pull it out and dump it outside like a real vent should, or a real hood. It just circulates it back through. Pulls a little bit of like the crap out of the air, like the oil. But yeah, not that great. Okay, I think I'm calming down. Thank you for tolerating all of that, folks. Snoozer song. Wow, that really got me. All right, we're gonna toss in our zucchini. And with some tongs, just gonna keep it moving. And let that gentle heat, actually, you know what? I don't want to use metal on my nonstick. Grab these little salad tongs, they'll do the trick. Low heat, toss that around. Put a little bit of salt on here, just a touch. There's plenty of salt on the sauce and on the chicken. And get butter everywhere. I've got this on like a medium heat right now, and once I start seeing a lot of steam evaporating out, I will cut that, or start to really evaporate out. That's when I'll cut this down. This is going to continue cooking for quite some time afterwards. So the goal here is you're almost just like, you're kind of almost like nuking the zucchini pasta so that it holds its body without getting mushy. It's a little dance here. Now, if you peel the skin off of this before you get the pasta, I've noticed that it kind of gets softer faster. Now look at how much by volume that's reduced already. Maybe from this angle you can't tell, but it's definitely gotten quite a bit smaller. And you can grab a piece and feel it. And if it feels hot, turn it off. In fact, and go a little bit. See how, like I said, 2 zucchini per person because of how much this starts to shrink down. And that's it. There's heat in this pan here. I'm gonna let that just kind of sit for a minute. Yep. It shrinks down. It's soft, buttery, a little bit of salt there. Whew. Wow, I can't believe how much that got me. And we're gonna get hit a little blend to our sauce here. Now, if you want this sauce like really hot, you can throw it in a little sauce pot, bring it back to temp. Okay, so I'm never doing that blackened season on a stream again in closed. That is fantastic. There's enough acid in there from the roasted red pepper and the tomato. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see the steam that's coming off of here. It's good. It's totally good to go. So what we're gonna do now is a split screen again. Bring y'all here and over top so you can see the plate up. And let's get this going. So we have our CBD CBG infusion. We're gonna do a teaspoon. Let's cut some chicken here. Oops. And for the chicken, I want little bite size, okay? So we're going to, let's just grab those other tongs that I had. Grab my knife here. And just, let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna go this way. If you want to cut these into any shape you want, you can do little squares, you can do little rectangles, you can cut them up into little circles for all I care. Let's try a piece. Ooh, spicy. I'm making a big old wuss out of myself with this spice here, y'all. That's nice though. Okay. This could be enough for what we need to do. Push this off to the side. And so the first thing we're gonna do is grab some of our zucchini noodles here. Let that excess butter and moisture drain out. And then when you put this in, you want to kind of like give it a little twist so you can get a little bit of height. Okay? Definitely want to have some height there. Oh man, I think my throat's gonna be sore for the rest of the time here. Hang tight. a little better of an angle there. And then we're going to take a spoon and we're going to take our sauce and a little on the edge and then just some up top here. Now the chicken you can put on top, but you're gonna lose some height. So we're actually gonna put the chicken off to the side. So we still got some height and some different texture. Now if you wanted to slice this into, you know, very particular longer slices, whatever you want to do, off to the side there, I think that works for this. And then we're gonna get some of our Parmesan. Some lemon zest. Nice little fresh terpenes on there. Help with the just brightness of the dish, basically. And then we have our infused herb oil, which is dosed out to 100, I'm sorry, there's 10 each, so 50 milligrams per milliliter each of CBD and CBG. And just kind of let that go wherever it wants to go. And that's it. Did I miss anything? No, I think we got it. It's just a very simple little pasta dish. Nothing too fancy. Pretty rustic. How do you milk a nut? Almond milk. More like nut juice. Well, I don't know. That doesn't necessarily apply to this, but the simple question, or the question you first have to ask yourself before you consider milking a nut is, are nuts supposed to be milked? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. No, you basically get warm water and you can blend it and then fine mesh strain it. Or you can steep your nuts in water overnight so they get soft and then simmer them, then blend them. There's a couple different ways. Okay, so here we go. This is just like a simple little pasta dish, guys. Very, very simple. CBD, we've got some CBG in here. Nice color, contrast in color. We got contrast in herbaceousness from the zucchini. We've got that salty parm. We've got that really like earthy roasted red pepper sauce, the spice from the chicken. We got my throat that's sore from coughing like a fool. And here we go. So let's just make it messy, okay? Let's take a little bit of each. I love that roasted red pepper sauce. Like, it's so freaking good. The onion and garlic is super subtle, but it's there. The zucchini has body to it. You can even kind of swirl it around your fork, if you will. There's texture to it. Did you ever grill zucchini and then overcook it or have it sit for a while? Even if it was cooked perfectly, then it sit and it's just mush because of the seeds in there. It's not like that at all. Chicken, the spice is cut significantly because of the sauce. It's there, don't get me wrong. The spice is there, but it is not like it was while cooking or that first bite I took. Yeah. What's also really interesting is there's a sweetness to this coming from the roasted red pepper, but also the zucchini, which is quite nice. So you see, I didn't like put a ton of sauce on here. It's there. There's not a ton. So move it around there, get it more on the zucchini. I'm trying to think what I would do differently here. And the only thing that it may help is if I were to have had a little bit of lemon juice or vinegar into the zucchini, like I originally said, but there's enough very mild acid coming through on the in the sauce because of the veggies there that that was the first bite that basil oil really came through, which is nice. And I can taste the asamine because I know what I'm looking for. Otherwise, I think that if most people were to eat that, they'd be like, oh, basil oil, cool, simple. That's the other thing I could have done, is I could have added some lemon zest into the basil oil and even homogenized or blend it with a little bit of lemon juice. That would have given a little extra acid, but it would have been a here and there bite. I don't think it needs it. It's just something that I'd be curious if I did it again, what this would look like. In fact, for shits and giggles, we're gonna take a little bit of lemon juice here, just a bit, and see if that makes, I can smell it, that makes any bit of a difference whatsoever. Yes, and it's better. Yep. It was harmonious before, but now it's like extra harmonious. That little bit of acid in there, put it on your zucchini noodles, or I wouldn't even say do it in the herb oil, or just finish the plate like I just did there, but then I mixed it. So yeah, put it in with your zucchini noodles. And I would do that early, so as you're tossing around, the acid's gonna get all mixed around in with the butter, and it'll kind of mix with the butter and hold on to it better. Really, really good. Really good. Okay, excellent. Cooking Girl, thank you there, Float. CBG, cannabigerol, is another cannabinoid. So it's derived from hemp and marijuana. The ones that I have are all hemp derived. And it's a non-intoxicating cannabinoid, so it will not get you high. So I really like this. Yeah, the lemon juice, that little bit of acid just brought this to another level. Yeah, spice is great now. It's there, like I said, but I'm not wussing out like I was before. Choking on my own breath. Jeez. Sorry you guys had to hear that. All right, so I'm gonna take one more bite here. And then here we go. So, I'm trying to think of the, ooh, okay. So, Adam, you already won everything. First of all, if you're tuning in right now and you're curious about learning more about cannabis, please go to trichomeinstitute.com. I'm going to paste it into the two chats, the specific page to the course that y'all can get access to. Okay, so hang tight 1 second. Shop. So this course that I'm going to give you guys here is for people who might know a little bit about weed, or sometimes they think they know a little bit about weed, but they really don't. And this will kind of help fill in some gray areas. It's a beginner course, but it's not like YouTube 101. If you go and you check out that course and you use the code PASTA, P-A-S-T-A, you'll get the course for free, $50 course for free. And it's myself, my partner Max, and I think 2 other people that come and go throughout, teaching y'all about all the things you need to know about cannabis. And it's a fun course. It's fun, it's chill, it's laid back. We're wearing like jeans and button down like plaid shirts or t-shirts and hoodies and just chill. But it's professionally done, really cool animations, and it's a good time. So, if you'd like to take that, go to that link, and enter the code PASTA, and you get to know. Now, from there, I'm going to give away I guess I should probably give away the Cooking with Cannabis course, since the whole point here is to promote that. One more bite. So, I partnered with the American Culinary Federation and came out with a Cooking with Cannabis online course. There's 6 hours of video content long. It's technical, it's advanced. If you're not familiar with cannabis, but you want to take the course and learn a lot about cooking with cannabis, today's stream was more focused on the cooking side. The course is all about cannabis. There's no instructions of cooking. There's little montages so you can see the recipes that I'm working the infusions into, but it's very, very technical. Anyway, I'm gonna give away one of those courses if someone can get this. This is a tough one. If someone can get this answered correctly. I might have to pick a different question afterwards, we'll see. But let's see what happens. There's a very specific term, 2 words, that I'm looking for here. When I talked about the basil infusion, okay, I explained how when I added the basil, I'm technically changing the volume of the final product, okay, because I put things into it. So my 100 milliliters, now who knows what it became, 110, 120, I don't know. But what that does is it changes your dose. Now I talked about a very particular term, what that's called, where they're allowing and forgiving when a dose is not 100% accurate, because there's this variance in how things are tested. And there was a 2-word phrase that I utilized to discuss what that is called. And it's an acceptable amount of blank, 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 blank. 7 syllables, 2 words, blank, 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 blank. If you know what those 2 words are, then you're going to get access to the new Cooking with Cannabis course for free. A $300 course for free. What do you think of them apples, huh? So, now Adam, you already won it last time. And we might get crickets here, I don't know. This might be too challenging of a question. I might have to make it easy. Or I'll just say, hey, that was the question. No one got it this stream. I don't know. I don't know what direction I'm gonna go here with this. I'm hoping someone's gonna get it right. All right, I've had enough of that. I just want some chicken. What do we think, chat? Whew, that got my mouth lifted. Not like high, like on fire again. Does anyone have any guesses on what the term I used to talk about that issue? I'm not getting anything from y'all. Either everyone's like doing different things or just stumped you. That chicken, now that my mouth is like readapted to the spice, is it's there, but I wonder if I just did a little bit of that. It's a variance you can't remember. Well, Adam, you already got the course, but it would have been cool if you got it right. You'll learn about it in the course, Adam. I believe it's a video section. All right, folks. Well, I must have been out of the room or on the phone. Okay, so it's called measurement uncertainty. And it's like not every single milliliter syringe could actually be a milliliter. Not every single teaspoon might not exactly be a teaspoon. okay? And there's like this variance even in lab tests where they say that they could potentially be off by like 10% of what the lab test actually says. So when it comes to making infusions, you kind of have that same little bit of wiggle room. But the best way is to not make any type of blended thing. It's to dose individually with a homogenized infusion and just keep it super accurate. But when you're dealing with non-intoxicating cannabinoids, you can be very forgiving. All right, I'll try to do this one more. Last question. If no one gets this one right, then we're just gonna have to reserve the giveaway for next time. Okay. When I was talking about osamine, this terpene that we put into the basil oil, I gave 4 descriptors of its aroma profile. Who can guess what those aroma profiles are? Hey, cooking girl, did you get the Cannabis for All course? Be careful, chef. What am I being careful with? The spice? Or are you just saying ta-ta, see you later? Woo! I want more chicken. This is my dinner. I'm eating early. I'm just gonna eat chicken. I don't need any more veggies. I just ate my veggie load for the week. Like I said, folks, plants are for smoking and drinking. Cooking girl, osamine is a terpene. Like, I don't know if you were here or not. All right, tell you what. Since we gave away the Cannabis for All course to everyone for free, and I don't know if everyone who was here, then we're just gonna pause. We'll save the giveaway for next time. Good chicken. All right, that's it, folks. I'm gonna save, clean some stuff up, and I think call it a good stream. I gotta get some of my technical issues in the beginning figured out. There are issues I never had before when I used to stream like 4 or 5 days a week, but we'll figure it out. So anyway, thanks for joining, everyone. Really appreciate it. Adam, glad to have you back. Chef Gigi, glad to have you back. Cooking girl, good to have you back. There was a couple others here that hung out. Gear Regard asking me about milk nutting, nut and milk and nuts, alpha toxin. Good to see you. Whew, my mouth's on fire. Ginger orange, a little citrusy, yeah. Definitely citrusy. Ginger, I don't know. Well, there's a spice to it, so that would apply. I don't eat a lot of chicken, but when I do, I like it a lot. Lemongrass, I don't get lemongrass. It might be in lemongrass, but when you smell citral or citronella even, you get lemongrass, more citral, but not osamine, at least the one I have. So, all right, guys, this has been fun for me. I hope it's been fun for you and you learned something. Don't forget, go to that link I sent, shop.trichominstitute.com, click the Cannabis for All course, get it for free with the code PASTA. That expires at midnight tonight, just for those of you who are on the stream today. So, thanks so much for joining. My mouth is now on fire from eating that other chicken, and I've got some dishes to do. So thanks for hanging out, and we'll see y'all. Probably in 2 weeks, I'll do another cannabis-related stream, but I'll be streaming in the next couple of days, just hanging out, doing my own thing. On Twitch only, though. All right, guys. Cheers.